Hi, Beck McKeever Pops Art, and I am at the IMA for the Brisbane Writers Festival 2021 launch and the inaugural Writers Address by the one and only Trent Dalton. How are you?
Hey, Beck, I'm really well. I've just come off stage having done the inaugural Writers Address, and it was just really beautiful. It was really beautiful to be in this amazing Judith Wright Centre and talking about words and the power of gatherings like this, you know. I mean, we're so lucky we can even be here, and there's so much love in this room, and it's been really beautiful, yeah. So thank you for coming, though. You're such a wonderful supporter of the arts in Brisbane, and I think it's really cool.
You are fantastic, and whenever you're in the room, you are the fire, and you talked about the fire, but you said you started your talk by saying you actually had to give it a title. So what was the title?
Yeah, I called the whole thing "This Room is a Fire." It was a very dramatic title for my speech, but I did that because I really do believe these gatherings, and just like exactly like Zoom sessions we did with all our loved ones through COVID, and particularly in Brisbane, that real 6-week lockdown period that we're all sort of did it a little bit tough, and you know, it reminded me in that time this idea that all we're really needing sometimes is a fire to gather around, you know. And it's like literally in my house, we were doing the winter campfire on an open fire type thing. But then I realized all I was doing when I'd get on to Zoom and, you know, catch up with people in Melbourne or Sydney or even London, you know, it was just another campfire. And so I really sort of built my whole address around that idea that the Writers' Festival, Brisbane Writers' Festival is a fire, and every book that's on these shelves is a fire. And the thing that what we're doing now is a fire. It's just
We're on fire.
We're on fire. It's just like, it's all about just sharing stories and remembering that storytelling is the greatest invention us humans have ever come up with. And it's a real belief I have, and it's just something really special. And it's really nice when a whole bunch of people who believe that concept gather in the one place, around the same fire. Yeah, so.
True, and you made this beautiful sort of analogy of numbers being ice, and sort of that was like a juxtaposition, almost the antithesis of stories. But the numbers you were also calling out are again another indication of what this year was. Can you talk a little bit about the numbers, because they were astounding too?
Oh, you know, when you see about the numbers of animals and human life lost in the Black Summer bushfires. And then you can get caught up in the coronavirus stats. I mean, didn't we? We all did. You know, I mean, how much did we... I mean, I'd be driving to school, you know, driving my daughters to school, and on the radio, it's just death tolls. Like, people just death toll after death toll. Rome death toll, London death toll. And I'd have to turn the radio off sometimes. I just didn't want my daughter hearing those numbers all the time because they're so cold. There's no warmth to them. And what I was saying in the speech was that words are warm, and words are the thing that actually you want to take away from the year. You know, try not to take all the stats from 2020. Let's take all the words. Like, hey, you know, call it up. I love you. Oh man, I wrote a whole book about this. Like, it's just the idea that words are the thing that you share with someone to make them feel warm. You know, that's why we write letters and why we send texts, and you know, because words are warm. You know, and it's sort of, you can't spend your whole year just listening to statistics and numbers, and you know, so it's sort of like, yeah, that's a very sort of great analogy. Yeah, words are fire, numbers are ice. Yeah.
Well, now you gave away one of your secrets tonight, that your daughter is actually writes your speeches, and she wrote a really great, fabulous line in there. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, Beck, I got asked by these amazing Brisbane Writers Festival people, and I remember it clearly. And they said, "Oh, hey Trent, can you come along and just sort of sum up, you know, 2020 and just in a kind of 15-minute speech?" And you know, when I found out, it was months ago, and I picked my daughter up from school, and she goes, "Oh, you know, what you been doing, Dad?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just tinkering around with this speech I'm writing for the Brisbane Writers Festival. I have to sum up 2020." And she goes, "Oh, no, Dad, just write this." And then this girl, she just goes, "Some died young, some died old, and some had their stories told." And it was like, what? Like that, like 11-year-old girl, but she's got a pretty interesting brain, that girl, and she's always inspiring me. And
very economical. Just nailed it straight up.
Good writing, yeah, efficient writing. Cormac McCarthy-esque, you could say, but no, not quite. But she's a real special kid, and so is my other daughter. But it's like that it's so great because they strip it all away, right? And that's like another thing I said in the thing, just strip it all back. Strip it all. You know, we got so caught up in this coronavirus thing this year, and we were reminded, strip it all back. It's family, friends, chats, catching up with Beck Mac. You know, it's like that's stories. That's the stuff. You know, and that's what this year's taught me, and that's all I wanted to share a bit in there. Yeah, yeah.
It's fantastic. And just quickly, finally, what does Brisbane Writers Festival mean to you?
Absolute celebration. I tell you, this town is punching well above its weight right now in a literary way. Like we have some seriously great writing talent. We had Kate Morton here tonight. You know, a woman who inspired me to write no end and showed us all that you can write big on a world scale, and that was amazing. But here, like that's what the Brisbane Writers Festival in particular to me is just showcasing all of the talent and all the stories. This city, I swear to God, has the best stories in Australia. Like there's no better storytelling city. Like from our Indigenous history to the fact that in this state that you can go up to Cooktown, and that's the most amazing kind of place where history was kind of began for sort of modern Australia, and then you've got penal colonies here, you've got prisons that I wrote about at Boggo Road, you've got, you know, wild. I mean, it's just, you've got endless storytelling, and that's what it is for me. Brisbane Writers Festival is just tapping into that and gives us license and permission to tell those great stories, you know, in a place where people come and support words, you know. It's great, yeah.
Where the fire is, and that's what is important.
I mean, that's where the fire is. Brisbane Writers Festival is a fire, you know, and that's it. I was saying that in there. It's like, yeah, it's absolutely a fire. It's like, what are we looking for? We're looking to get warm. We're looking to share stories with the ones we love. You know, Brisbane Writers Festival is just tapping right into that. And I can't wait to see some of the stuff that they're talking about, you know, next year. It's going to be incredible. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Trent. Always love talking to you. You are a firecracker.
Thank you. Thank you. No,
And,
Mac, the best. Yeah. No, I always love it. Always love it.
And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.